Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Phee Smee Show with Manly Mark. We're your host, Manly Mark, and the Phee Bird over here himself. How's everything going this morning, Phee?
Just another day in paradise, another 3 hours and 27 minutes of sleep last night.
Oh, that's not enough.
That's not enough. I've had a rough week of sleep.
Oh, well, but you just been in pain, dude. Been too active, all this golfing and all this running around.
Pickleball, golf, all kinds of problems. But let's talk about the world, Mark.
Okay.
Let's get away from my sleep cycle and let's move on.
Push your mic away from you. You're a little too close.
How about that?
Just a little further. That's perfect.
Be better?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. Well, we had the floods in Texas over the
You
weekend.
don't have to get so close to it.
We had the floods over in Texas.
Yeah.
And this weekend, lost a lot of lives, a lot of children at a Christian camp.
Yes.
A lot of people just
sad thing.
It's just crushing.
Right.
Anytime that you lose those young kids and they're out there worshiping and praising the Lord, and next thing you know, they're meeting Him.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow's not given, as you well know.
Right. It's
So,
not. It's not.
We got to do a better job with that. We talked a little bit yesterday about the climate situation. You want to go into detail more about that today?
We can. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think in part, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but we were having these audio problems. Well, just like first thing, even in Arkansas, it's June. For as long as I can remember, it's been dry in the summer. This is the wettest, rainiest summer we've had, and as long as I can remember. And Phee, you're older than me. Is this normal?
No, but I can tell you over the years, I've said this probably for the last 15 to 20 years, we're about a month off.
Well, and I was thinking about that myself because just even over the last few years, I've observed, it seems like people would say, oh, April showers bring May flowers. But then I would notice, well, April didn't really shower. May seemed to be the rainy time. That's weird.
Well, August used to be the hottest month of the year. Everybody just said, well, wait till August.
Right.
And now September the 18th is hotter than August the 18th.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's just a month behind over my lifetime. I can tell you that the spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter, they've adjusted about a 30-day cycle on the weather.
Sure. Well, I mean, and whether that's natural, because I do believe the Earth goes through natural climate changes and cycles and such, or if it's something crazy the government's doing. I don't know. I mean, for example, even in Texas, in the same area that these floods happened, a company called Rainmaker that was contracted by the U.S. government was conducting cloud seeding research or experiments on July 2nd. And, and it's like they admitted to it. I say admitted, it was just a known thing that was going on. And now you have all this flooding, and they say, oh, there's no correlation. And it's like, what? That amount of rain, that quick, that amount of water, come on now. Come on. I don't know. I can't say that positively that's 100% what's going on, but, man, that sure is a pretty big coincidence to say this company called Rainmaker, who is a cloud seeding company, they use cloud seeding is just they spray silver iodide into the sky, and it essentially accumulates water particles that creates a cloud, and the cloud gets heavy enough to create rain. Okay, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's not a spooky conspiracy theory. It's not a spooky sign like, ooh, what kind of weird technology. No, it's chemistry. They're using chemistry to manipulate the weather.
Absolutely.
They've been doing it since the 70s. Me and Phil were talking about this yesterday. I mean, heck, they've been doing it probably longer than that. I mean, one of America's first meteorologists said you could use forest fires to induce rain somewhere else, because all that smoke you're burning, well, I mean, that's been documented for a long time. So it's people want to brush it aside and say, well, only God can do that, but I don't know, man.
Okay, well, let's dive into that, because here's what bothers me. Number one, there's a company out there named Rainmaker.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no conspiracy about that.
No.
Number two, they're contracted by the federal government.
Yeah.
No conspiracy about that.
Right, and funded through people like Peter Thiel.
Okay, so now weather manipulation has been around for 50 years. Now, there are going to be weather wars before it's over with.
Yeah. And I would argue that we've already been in the midst of weather wars for who knows how long.
Well, as long as the federal government can say, well, that's just a conspiracy theorist saying that, then bottom line is they're going to continue to mislead the public and deceive.
Right.
And you're not going to get accurate information. But if you tell the normal, let's say you were talking to your grandmother.
Okay.
And you said, well, 2 days before that flood in Texas that killed all these people, they were actually a company called Rainmaker.
Yes.
Contracted by the federal government, was doing experiments in Texas.
Right.
Now, they would the news media would say, well, that's just a bunch of hogwash. It's just a coincidence.
Right.
And your grandmother would think, well, there's no way in the world anybody can manipulate the weather except God.
Probably.
So, again, anytime that Mark, the conspiracy theorist who just tells the truth and people think it's crazy, in reality, everything that you're saying might seem weird or strange, but it's happening.
Well, and I think that's in part because people just don't know. I mean, they're
too busy, or you don't think they care?
I think it's a little both, but I also think it's in part they get their information where they get it, and they're used to this source of information, and anything that contradicts or goes against, it's almost like people can't be confronted with a conflicting opinion if they have to change a worldview in that, oh, well, if you're telling me the government can manipulate the weather, it's almost like people can't handle that.
Totally different reset from an intellectual level.
Yeah, I mean, so they just can't handle that. And so I don't know. It's like, because then, well, I don't know, because they can't compartmentalize it, I guess. I don't know.
I can tell you this, that one of the main issues is they're busy.
Mm-hmm.
Two is,
well, yeah, because who really cares?
They don't even entertain the premise that people can do that.
Right.
But I think more importantly, just like this human trafficking, if it doesn't affect their lives right then and there,
sure.
If it doesn't affect their family or their lives, then they really aren't that invested in or care about it.
But I guarantee if I was I guess the father of one of those children, and I knew that they were doing this weather manipulation, I guarantee I'd be a lot more invested in it. In that, I'd be finding out I'd be finding out names. I'd be finding out offices. I don't know.
Well, what you'd be looking at is saying, is there a company called Rainmaker? They actually incorporated a company, named it Rainmaker.
Well, yeah, because
they're trying to manipulate the weather.
Well, and on the surface, it's not a nefarious thing. That's it's just because people say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, and it happens to be true, doesn't mean it's Rainmaker's an evil company or Rainmaker. Because
it does give credence and credibility.
Sure.
That the company is named that and has a contract with the federal government.
Well, right.
And was there 2 days before that rain.
Well, and you can find examples all over of just cloud seeding. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, you can just type into Google Beijing Olympics weather manipulation, and it'll pull up articles on mainstream platforms like Reuters or whatever, talking about how, they caused it to rain before the Beijing Olympics so that it was less likely to rain during the Olympics. And it's like, just matter of factly. And it's like, okay, or the floods in Dubai a few months or a year ago or whatever.
That is the desert, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a desert. I mean, I don't blame them for thinking, oh, well, it's a desert. Let's make it rain here. Cool. Oh, bad idea. Now it's flooding. Clearly the weather manipulation they were doing in Dubai resulted in floods, so it's not a stretch to think the same thing could happen here. And again, I think these technologies are used for nefarious purposes in the weather wars that I think we are currently engaged with hostile countries. And then they want to be able to make it rain on arid, dry places. Can't blame them.
Manipulation of the weather is just the start, though.
But they'll never do it for free.
If they can manipulate the weather,
Right. Well,
what else is up there in space?
Man, I don't know.
Well,
I bet we'd be surprised.
I guarantee you, they hadn't done a lot of inventory over the last 50 years on those payloads.
Hey, Jerry.
What's up, Jerry?
We're glad you're tuning in. I hope.
How's our sound?
Yeah, hope all our audio sounds good, and hope we're coming through good.
Mark did a phenomenal job working yesterday, and then got 2 programs up, and both of them we had to take down because of the audio quality, and it was such a good show.
Yeah, it's so disappointing.
So I'm telling you what, we're going through it.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah,
and,
we are
with the video and the audio.
But we're working
all
on
different
it.
Platforms, and you're doing a phenomenal job, and I thank you so much for it. Let's talk about chemtrails. They were in Texas all the time. Now they've kind of shifted to Florida. It looks like that Florida and Texas are thinking about actually making them illegal.
Well, I think the chemtrails are actually all over the country. I mean, I see them in Arkansas all the time.
You do?
Yeah. Do you not?
I see jet stream out behind it, and I don't know whether that's
that is the chemtrail, because think about it like this. Think about it like this. I'll explain it. Audio's good. It wasn't yesterday. Thank you, Jerry, for confirming. I'm glad to know, because it's like we're not hearing. So God bless you, Jerry.
Thank you
for letting us know.
Yes.
Now back onto chemtrails.
Yeah, all over the country.
They claim it's water vapor. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you see the jets fly by and the stream just immediately dissipates. Mm-hmm. Those are water vapor. But the streams that fly by, I do a lot of sitting. I promise you, Phil, I do a lot of sitting and I do a lot of watching. Like, one of my favorite things to do is sit out on a stoop somewhere, lean back and just watch the sky, watch the field in front of me, just watch. Yep. And I have watched with my own eyes these trails that linger for miles, they streak all the way across the sky. You can watch them. They're little tiny way up there. They just descend down, and get thicker and thicker and thicker, descend down, until they're like just streaks that just are across the whole sky that just look like, oh, it's a cloudy day. No, those are clearly just artificial clouds, man. Sounds crazy, but once you notice, you notice. I mean, those trails that stay in the sky, water vapor dissipates. That's something heavy. That's something that stays. Now, I don't know if that's what is the cloud seeding material, or if they're just literally dropping poison. Because you can watch these planes fly over all day. Again, I've watched it. Perfectly clear, cloudless day, blue sky, not a plane in the sky. All of a sudden, like a grid, streak, 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 streak. To the point, like, sometimes I've almost counted 7, 8, 9, 10 planes in the sky at the same time. I had such a good view. And I got to thinking to myself, I just really doubt there's that many passenger airlines over in the middle of central Arkansas right now. Maybe I'm wrong. But if you really look at them, sometimes they'll fly low. And I've even seen them. They look like the shape of airplanes, but they're just white. And I've seen people post videos and zoom in on them. They don't have windows, right? They're shaped like planes. Some people suggest they might be drones, or just, I don't know. But people have also seen videos of, and I've seen it myself, the plane going, nothing. All of a sudden, starts spitting it, like they just flipped it on. Man, I'm telling you, it's people want to say it's a conspiracy and say it's crazy, but they're spraying something, whether that's the cloud seeding, whether that's just straight up poison on our heads. I don't know.
Well, chemtrails is short for chemical trails,
I guess, because some people call them contrails for condensation trails, I guess, but I call them chemtrails because they are just chemtrails.
I just didn't know what the chemist.
I guess chemical
chemicals
trails
were in there.
Because they add it to the jet fuel.
Yes.
You know.
But I don't know the advantage of adding it to the jet fuel. There's got to be somebody that's saying, now there's air traffic controllers up there. Why are there?
Well, and some people.
Planes?
Well, because I
totally
know,
agree
man.
with the drones. The drones are the way the future is going to work.
But they might be just drones, and because I just don't know, because some people suggest it's, well, like you see articles about like how Bill Gates wants to shade the sun, right? You've seen that before, haven't you?
I've heard about it.
Well, he wants to shade the sun because nobody is. He's a
China. Yeah, China loves him.
Well,
statues of him.
If reptilians existed, he'd be the he'd be the closest candidate to a frog reptilian, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyways, but
frog legs you're not supposed to eat. In the Bible says no reptiles.
Well, I'm not a Jew.
I'm a reptile. I'm a frog.
Me too,
leg kind of guy.
I don't understand it though. We're not.
It's Old Testament. It's Leviticus, but I just like to read.
But I like it too. But if I was a Jewish man, I would be like, oh, I better stay away from frog legs. Yeah. I'm a Gentile. So
you eat pork and frog legs, oysters and shrimp.
But by the same thing, it's like saying, well, we have to get circumcised.
Right.
Well, no, you don't. What? No, you don't. You don't have to, right? Well, the Old Testament says you have to. No, you don't, because we know you don't have to have circumcision, right? Well, in the same manner, well, if I'm not bound by the law of the Old Testament regarding circumcision, I'm probably not bound regarding the dietary laws for the Jewish nation of Israel. But I don't know.
My father was born in 1929 and was not circumcised. He was he was a sharecropper's son. They didn't have any, had born at home. But it always bothered him as he got older about biblical because he kept talking about being a Levite from the Levite tribe, and Levites were the bridge from the old to the new, and it really, even in his 60s, he talked to me about it and it concerned him. It never concerned me that what you're saying is correct as far as not having to be circumcised.
Well, yeah.
That makes no sense for us now.
Well, I think it's a barbaric practice. I think they should outlaw it personally.
What about the dadgum vitamin K that they give you a shot before they actually get you out of the womb most of the time? It's crazy. And then they dropping stuff in your eyes.
Yeah, I think, that's bad. I don't like that.
Jiminy cricket. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, and I just liken it to, we don't bat our eye, and I'm not hating on people who circumcise their kids. My kids are circumcised. But first off, there's an industry for foreskins. You can literally look up foreskin facial creams where they sell these foreskins because they're high in collagen and I'm sure stem cells.
Yep.
And they turn them into facial creams. There's an actual market for foreskins. So, of course, they're going to push it, saying, it's sanitary, it's best. Okay, but we look at Islamic countries or Islamic cultures who circumcise their females, and we say, these hateful, barbaric animals. Well, that's their culture. Now, do I think that's terrible and detestable?
It is barbaric.
It is barbaric. But at the same time, well, why isn't it barbaric to birth a child and within the first 24 hours of its life, literally cut off a piece of its pecker? Yeah, I don't know, man. Because when we did it,
it's accepted practices that no one even.
Well, and we did it, and the baby was fine, eating fine, latched fine, everything fine. Born at 2:01 in the afternoon.
Hey, so was my oldest daughter, 2:01.
Yeah, and then, anyways. Yeah, and then that morning at 4 or 5 a.m., the pediatrician comes in to take the kid for circumcision, and it's like he was doing fine up until that, eating great, latching. Right after that, didn't want to eat for 12, 14, 15 hours. Didn't want to, this and that. Well, no, but it's just like a noticeable trauma was induced upon this baby, and it's like, people just think that's cool, but I don't know, man. At the very least, people would say, well, that's why you got to give the vitamin K shot, because if they're circumcised and they don't have the vitamin K shot, there's a chance they could bleed to death or do that, bleed to death or whatever. And it's like, well, if you wait till at least the 8th day, that's when apparently vitamin K naturally increases in a newborn. So it's like, let's give our baby a synthetic vitamin K.
I don't like synthetic drugs.
No, or a synthetic vitamin, and when he's born, as opposed to just, let's just put off this barbaric medieval practice
for a week,
and on the 8th day or 2 weeks after, maybe we'll consider it. But I don't know, man.
You didn't get much of a choice in the hospital, and let's just talk the accepted practices that are in America, not the world, but just in our country, that people do on a daily basis seems strange from a cultural standpoint around the world.
Yeah.
And of course, there's cultures around the world that seem strange to us.
Yeah.
So that's just your condition or where your environment is, where you're raised, and what your culture is.
Right.
Basically. Right. Let's change subjects now and talk about Trump's big, beautiful bill. His beautiful bill.
Yes.
One of the most hated organizations that I absolutely can't stand is Planned Parenthood.
Okay.
A third of their funding comes from the federal government.
Sure.
Now, President Trump, because he will be known as the greatest president for children and the elderly when his tenure is up as far as the president is concerned.
Right.
He is now defunding Planned Parenthood, which is phenomenal for me, but now Planned Parenthood is going to court to sue him. So they have no chance whatsoever of winning because the Supreme Court, with the Dobbs ruling a couple of years ago, has made that virtually impossible for the Supreme Court to actually convict Trump.
Sure.
Now, what they can do is they can go from a state-to-state level, just not have federal funding, but have state funding.
Right.
So they're not eliminating abortion, but I mean, this morning after pill, 16 million people have taken it in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean that's evil too.
And there's about 5 million abortions a year being done by chemicals and pills where they never even have to see a doctor or go to a hospital.
They just go get it. They just take a pill.
They get a pill through the mail. Probably a teleport phone call would do it, and then the prescription, and they don't have to go to a clinic.
Right.
And that's where the danger comes from this point on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a chemical. They're not going to have to go inside and remove the embryo, but what they will do is they'll destroy it chemically.
Yeah, which is sad too.
Now tell me if that's not barbaric.
Well, I mean, it's all barbaric. I mean, I don't know, we like to act like we live in modern times, modern society. Like we're just the peak of civility, as far as civilization goes, but we're just as barbaric and cruel as everyone before us, man. We just call the crimes and sins something else, man.
Yeah.
We just rebrand
We just label it, rebrand it, and relabel it. Yeah. Well, hey, tell the truth. You give the human beings enough time, they'll try to destroy everything.
Well, yeah.
And that's what you're looking at now. We have talked about the chemtrails and the flooding, the big, beautiful bill, which they say the Democrats are just saying that Medicare and Medicaid is just going away for the poorest. They'll have to be institutionalized. There won't be any home health. So they're really saying that it's the biggest tax break for the wealthiest in the history of the United States. I don't see it all one-sided for the rich.
Sure.
Anytime you want to scare people, just tell them you're going to take their Social Security and their Medicare, Medicaid, and they get it up. They just get nervous.
Yeah.
And, that's what's going to happen. People are going to be making decisions based on bad information in the future.
Right.
Remember, we've talked about it before. We're going to continue to talk about it. How are they going to attack the United States of America? And number one, if they can disrupt the food chain.
Right. Which would be easy.
You got problems.
Right.
Number two, if you can disrupt the grid, you got problems.
Right.
So, and number three, if you can interrupt the money flow, the currency,
sure,
then look at it. You got no electricity, no phones, you got no food, no water, and no money.
I've seen some people say that within something like that, if they China, Russia launched an EMP on America, that within 9 months, like 80 to 90% of Americans would already be dead. It's a high. No, that's a really high number.
I think so. I don't think that they understand or realize the technology we have to shoot those missiles down from space.
Sure.
We're not going to be trying to shoot down those ICBs or with a ground launcher, a rocket launcher.
I don't know, man.
We're going to be going down.
Well, maybe.
Star Wars is like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying because I think the whole idea of an EMP is it's like exploding a nuke in space above America. Yeah. That's the idea. So it's like, I don't know.
But they got to get close to America.
I mean, how many satellites they got floating around that probably have nukes in them already? I don't know. I'm just saying.
A whole different level of warfare.
I'm just saying.
They've already got nuclear weapons in space. That would be.
You don't think they don't?
Oh, I think they do.
Come on.
But I don't know how many countries do.
Right.
Okay, I'm not so sure that more than 3 countries do.
Right. Well, and I got to seeing, it was a video about the, how many nukes each country has. And it was like all the countries that had nukes were essentially, hey, we're broken into 2 categories.
America and the rest?
Well, I know countries that America gave nukes to and countries that the Soviets gave nukes to. And it's like just thinking, well, why did we give all these idiots nukes? Especially Israel. I mean, Israel stole our nukes. Or the reason they killed JFK is because of nukes, but it's beside the point.
Yeah. Well, you've got there's several conspiracy theories about JFK.
Well, in part, I think it was in part because he was demanding inspections of their nuclear facilities, and they kept giving him the runaround, right? Because everyone just, they said, okay, if we give you these technology with the nukes, this and that, we have to inspect it, make sure it's up to our code or up to this, make sure you're not doing this or that, or maybe it was even so much as to say maybe to make sure you're not developing a bomb. And long story short, they wouldn't ever let the Americans in. And so JFK finally put his foot down and said, look, we're either coming in or we're taking it back. And a month later in Dallas, Texas, he died. Mm-hmm. And then right before that, either right before that or right after that, the Prime Minister of Israel at the time stepped down. It was, at this point, it's...
Doesn't matter.
Well, at this point, it doesn't matter. And at this point, it's just like...
That's their whole goal. They just wait 50 years and then unclassify
well,
stuff.
Right, but it
doesn't matter because nobody cares.
But at this point, it's like highly unlikely that it wasn't Israel involvement.
Well, a lot of people think it was the mafia. A lot of people think it was the Federal Reserve. A lot of people think it was the dadgum CIA.
But the problem is it's Mossad all the way down.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something.
All those words you just said were Mossad.
They are the highest, best intelligence on the earth, on planet Earth is the Mossad.
Yeah, well,
and I can tell you that, yes, they've got their hands in a lot of different pies. No question about it. And I'd say that the CIA is right.
Well, just like you're telling me, case closed on Epstein, that he didn't kill himself and that he didn't have a client list. Oh. I'm not buying it. Because how does a man with that kind of wealth get involved in human? How do you make money with selling kids? What do you mean? How do you make money selling kids?
Why would you? What would make somebody do that?
Money.
Yes, but isn't there a lot of different ways to make money?
Man, I don't know because that's not my proclivity.
No,
but what I'm saying is, it's not a stretch to think that that's the case. There's videos of.
Oh yes, he definitely did. I'm just saying, what is the motive?
Well, I don't know. Epstein, Stein.
Yeah.
Well, there's the motive right there.
Again, you've got because of his last name, he's a problem.
You just noticing, because the guy was a math and science teacher for half his life, and the next thing you know, he has a New York mansion and all this money and a private island and a jet, and he's sex trafficking. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's still in prison for human trafficking. Okay, well, if the case is closed on Jeffrey Epstein, he killed himself. He had no client list. Well, then what was his biggest associate, Ghislaine Maxwell? Who is she trafficking in? For whom and what for? If not clients, that's odd. Okay, well, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, I can't remember his name, but he, whatever Maxwell name, he was a Mossad agent. He was a Mossad guy. That's not a conspiracy. You can just look it up. Who was also tied into Mother Teresa. So it's like, oh. Wow, you start to see Mother Teresa. You mean the one who helped all those orphans, those fatherless, those parentless children, connected to the Mossad, whose daughter was associates with Jeffrey Epstein, the biggest child trafficker this side of, you know what? So it's like, whoa.
2,000 young people a day.
Whoa, wait. So, because you've heard the rumors about Mother Teresa, right?
I have not heard any rumors about Mother Teresa, but I don't play in that sandbox.
Well, and that has nothing to do, that's not a hate or knock against Catholics, because, the more I understand the Catholics, the more respect I have for them. So it's not a knock against Catholics, because you find that in the Baptist church, the Mormons, the Pentecostal, you find it everywhere. But it's just once you really start looking into Mother Teresa and her connections, you start, oh, well, her whole work was with the suffering and children and this and that. And it's like, oh, she was connected to these people who are trafficking children. Now, I mean, I don't know, man, but it just really, once you understand it's a big group, and you're
very wealthy, successful people,
and we're not a part of it.
No.
So we don't see it. But then you start to see the connections between all these groups and how they all intermingle and commingle, but are separate, right? But they all covering for each other. They're all helping each other. It's all tied in. And I mean,
so strange too that would. These secret societies of all these wealthy people come into islands and
right. And I don't even know a lot about that.
Rituals and stuff. Right. I'm still trying to figure out what happens to folks' minds that would want to get involved in that type of. They ought to be thankful, blessed that they're living a good life, that the God's blessing them with money. And instead, they're just. I
think they're so I don't know, because that's not me, but it's either they're so twisted with lust and power that they really are willing to trade whatever eternity there is for dominion and power here, or
that's satanic.
Yeah, or it is, and that all the stuff we've been talking about is satanic. All these secret societies, it's all just a mask for Luciferianism, Satanism,
Absolutely.
And not like the Church of Satanism.
No,
that's the cartoon.
That's too obvious.
Well, and that's the cartoony version. Yeah. Now, some aspects of it are Luciferian by nature, like the do what thou wilt. That's just by nature Luciferianism. I mean, but they're all just give truths and give symbols of the true Luciferian doctrines, if that makes sense. It's all hidden in symbols. Like even Manly P. Hall, one of the most super high Freemason in the 1800s, and I don't know, he was fought in the Civil War or something, and he bigwig around Arkansas, maybe even too, Manly P. Hall. I don't know, man, if that's the same Manly P. Hall or not. But
that's Manly Mark.
Well, no, I don't know, man. But even he said something along the lines of, if the world only, I don't know, essentially that the world is just rife and filled with symbols of the truth, but people are just blind to them. Symbols everywhere. Like a lot of the symbols you see, like checkerboard flooring. Just to name one. Not to get too deep.
I like
checkerboard, but flooring. You see it all the time in movies and in politics or something. Like you'll see checkerboard pattern, and what that symbolizes is a duality. You know what I'm saying? There's a duality. Man and woman is a duality. Good,
ebony
evil.
and ivory.
Right, duality. I mean, yeah, honestly, it's a duality. And that mean that, I don't know the exact meaning, but I mean, there's those symbols are everywhere of the occult and of the,
There's no question that there's symbols everywhere.
But the thing is, people unknowingly give their intention and their energy and their mind to these symbols. Mm-hmm. And in turn, it's benefiting those who pull the strings. Like another example, these concerts you see about, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of like Taylor Swift on stage doing weird hand symbols, or these you'll see videos of these rock stars doing, it's like their sets and their music sets are like ritualistic and like weird, like the whole thing is.
So you're either in the know and you know what those symbols mean, right, or you just think she's dancing.
Exactly. You're just there having a good time, right?
Right.
But there was even an example of it was like John Legend or something, and just some other celebrity, and they didn't know they were live, but the camera's panning because there's some live show panning in on them, and the girl was looking away, and she was doing like the Baphomet symbol, and then she saw the camera rolling, and you see her look up, like at John Legend, and he just keeps straight face, but it's like it's to them they're farming energy or something, man.
What are they? What do you think it is? What do you think they're saying, or the message is with the symbols?
Well, I don't know. I think it's it's witchcraft in essence, but it's like they are doing these rituals to bring about certain things, the probability of certain things, okay, whatever that be, I don't know. And by having all of these people give their energy, their thought, their attention to this ritual, whatever that ritual is or whatever the result of the ritual desired be, all of these people giving that energy manifests or makes more probable the result to come to fruition. That's what magic.
The desired result.
That's what magic and black magic is. It's. I mean, people think magic is if I say hoopity hoppity doopity dop, a rabbit will be pulled out of a hat. But it's like no, it's not that simple. It's not that cartoony. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really know that much about it. So, if there's a witch listening, sorry. But
that's why I kept telling people that Africa, for the last 2 years since my vision, Africa is one of the most dangerous continents.
It's just rife with black magic, that voodoo, man.
It is the only continent that is on all 4 hemispheres.
Sure.
So from a space or a tactical standpoint, they've got a lot of advantages.
Sure.
They are the most demented satanic ritual group with so many different tribes, so many different cultures, so many different rituals throughout the years that it's difficult for you to pinpoint which one is the worst.
Right.
That's how bad they are.
Right. Well, but I just really do think that all these occultic black magic rituals, symbols, practices are threaded intimately through our society and our culture and our entertainment. Like I said, these concerts you go to, I've heard accounts of people saying they almost go into trances, and it's like, well, there's something going on, and
there's some energy there.
You mostly see it with like these big names like Taylor Swift or Beyonce, or remember I don't like rap, but the Travis Scott at concerts, maybe it's in Texas, where a few people got trampled to death or something. Do you remember that story?
I do not.
Well, there was some festival, and he was headlining, and some people got trampled to death or died. But the whole concert and the whole leading up premise and the previews was like, even to like enter the concert, you had to go through a giant inflatable blow up of his head, but it was almost like you're going through a portal, right? Mm-hmm. And the whole concert was portals and this, and you're going through and entering and exiting and this and that, and then people get trampled and die. And it's like those things mean something. Those are symbols. Those are rituals. Those are sacrifices.
There's symbols and signs everywhere.
Yes, and
think about it, even on our dollar bill.
Well, even on our dollar bill, the pyramid with the eyeball. It's like no one thinks about that.
In the one world government, which we will get into on Revelations 13 on our His Kingdom is Coming episode. That one world government is coming.
Well, right, and people.
And if you look at our dollar bill, it will say right there, real plain says World War I.
Right.
So one new world order.
Right, and people really start calling you a schizo when you start talking about the symbols and the occult and the black magic. But man, once you start noticing, you just start paying attention to the things you see.
There is a real need for humans to connect. I see with fraternities, sororities, even starting in junior high, they'll start having sororities and high school fraternities in college. And most of those, I think 80% of fraternity boys are in politics as far as the House and the Senate. So they are making some connections there. But my point in saying is people want to feel connected to where even if they're wealthy, and even if they have power, somehow they want to join, or they're enticed. Someone is selling them to join a secret society for what advantage? It's got to be an introspective, some type of energy feeling that kind of like drugs, I guess. It must be a real thrill because they've got money, they've got power,
I think
everything they want.
You feel chosen, you feel unique, you feel set apart, almost you feel holy.
Recruited.
Well, that's the HR term, like, hey, let's go recruit this loser.
Well, that's a sports term.
But what you're feeling is, I've been chosen. I am one of a select few. And so that's probably the draw initially, or there's some sort of knowledge or things I can learn that no one else knows. It's I'm sure a feeling of power maybe, but I don't know.
Well, I haven't been asked to join any secret societies.
No, I don't think I have either.
Yeah. Well,
that I can speak of.
You never can tell though.
No. No, I wouldn't be a good
We're
Freemason.
now exposed. I just never have. I love the. There's not a better feeling than being a part of a championship team to win.
Yeah.
But I get the camaraderie. I get the locker room. So from that aspect, I guess being a part of the team, some people just want to make the team.
Oh yeah.
Some people just want to start.
Sure.
And then some people want to star. And as a coach, you try to find out what is their motive.
Sure.
A lot of times our parents say, well, he got cut last year.
Right.
Or he's the worst one on the team. Well, I'm not going to guarantee him a college scholarship, but I can guarantee you if he spends 12 months with me, he won't be the worst on the team.
Right.
So I get just as much reward from a reward-seeking standpoint from a person going from not making the team to making the team.
Sure.
Or somebody that's sitting on the bench all the time actually getting to play.
That makes sense.
Or somebody that's was playing but now is starting.
Right.
Or someone that was starting but now is starring.
Yeah.
And I get the same amount of satisfaction from all of those because no matter where you start, if you can show progress, you gain momentum.
Sure.
And then you're going to get better at whatever your skill set is.
Right. Right.
Just like us right now.
Well, yeah, I feel like well, I mean, I guess according to Jerry, God bless you, Jerry, yesterday audio was not good, and it clearly was not.
No, we had to take it down, two of them. And,
yes.
And I think they were very, very good shows, too.
Yeah, I hate that.
But it's okay. We're going to continue to have good shows.
Well, and honestly, maybe we should have the headphones, but we just feel like it looks tacky on our heads. But I see clips.
You're just enamored with your hair. And of course, I'd wear a hat all the time if it was me.
Well, but the thing is, we'd be able to hear how our audio sounded. We'd be able to hear the clips we play eventually when we play clips.
Yeah, I know.
We're just going into deaf.
I believe that in the end, before it's over, you'll be wearing headsets, and I think your hair will look good.
Oh, well, I'm not worried about that, honestly. Because I see the podcasts all the time with the celebrities, with everybody. Everybody's wearing the headsets, so it can't be that bad of a thing.
No, if you get the right headsets, it doesn't matter.
I mean, but if anything,
but these big old things are like 1980.
That's what everybody wears, and which I don't understand. If anything, I'd rather just have the clear.
They have bigger ears than.
I'd rather have the clear wireless earpiece that we just hear, so it just looks and feels the same, but. Yeah. I can still hear our audio in my head.
I can assure you that we will continue to update whatever we need to make Mark happy and excited to show up.
It's not about being happy.
Because he is the one who's fixing. I hope this sound is a lot better than it was yesterday because he's the one who took care of it. This gentleman right here is working all day to try to make this a successful business, and I do appreciate it, Mark. Well, I could not do it without you. The video, the audio, the soundboard, the inserts, the editing, it just continually, the lighting, the set, just in the last 5 weeks, it's been great.
Well, yeah, we've come a long way, I think, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, you cost me a lot of money because you make so many mistakes. But the bottom line is you break in my house, and the debt, you got a key to it. I don't know why you want to go.
Because it does not unlock the deadbolt.
Again, let's talk. He likes adventure, folks. He likes to do things the hard way.
He always says, well, I don't use my key. Well, the key only works for the knob, not the deadbolt. I tried it. So I crawled through the window that's unlocked. Excuse me.
So now you've told the world we haven't unlocked the window.
Well, no, it's locked now, but at that moment, I knew it was unlocked. So, I mean, what's a guy supposed to do? Not crawl through the window?
Yes. You could pick up the phone and call me. But you did, and the phone ring was on.
And what would I have said? Hey, Phil, I'm going to crawl through your window.
Yeah, okay. I'd have said okay.
I know.
That would have been a heads up.
But the thing is, I know that he would have said okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so in my mind, I'm thinking, why bother Phil?
Right.
If he's not going to care, he would never know unless I told him. And so I'm going to slip in.
I'm going to drive out to Mark's house. I'm going to go under his carport. I'm going to grab me 14 tomatoes and 13 cucumbers and leave. Not going to call him because I know if I called him, he would say it's okay for me to take the tomatoes and cucumbers.
Yeah, please. That wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
Because you sent me a picture yesterday of some absolutely beautiful tomatoes and cucumbers, homegrown.
It wouldn't bother me at all if you slipped. Now I get
Number one thing I miss, Mark, is tomatoes.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big tomato guy, but I will say I've been eating those cherry tomatoes. I've been cutting them in half and salting them and eating them with I say that with table salt. So with that glass and sand and
glass, sand, and iodine.
Yeah, glass, sand, and salt. Yep. I've been eating that with my tomato. So I'm getting not only getting that acidosis, I'm getting
and toxemia.
Tune into
which, by the way,
Phee Smee Network's Terminally Ill.
Terminally Ill. They are agreeing with me all over now that chlorophyll in the algae is stopping cancer. Again, you're going to find out that I am ahead of the curve with these stem cells, these exomes, all of these dadgum medical protocols. You're fixing to start hearing about what I've been telling people for 2 years. That it's coming. You will be able to see, you will be able to hear, you will be able to walk. You have hope. I promise you, hope is coming. No longer. If you got a child that's 40 years old and in a wheelchair, and you've been taking care of them your whole life, you're going to have some relief in the future. Just
I hope so.
5 to 10 years, if our Lord doesn't come back. And he's certainly not coming back for 7. So, with World War III happening first, before, that's the sixth trumpet war. How long will that be? And then you got the 7-year temporary peace plan.
Right.
And it has to have biblical characteristics or it's not the one. So we're looking at some good time. I hope we have 10 to 15 years to really go out and really do some great, great work. The Bible says, and I believe that it will be the greatest revival. So I'm looking forward to a strong church.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a unified church.
Do you think there will be a unified church? Because I just don't know.
I think that once America is at war, once there is loss of life and death is surrounding us, I think
people will just flock to the church, huh?
They turn to God, and God has a way to bring His people back to Him. So I believe that will happen. I do think that, like we said before, if you just look at Independence Day, the movie, you can change circumstances real quick.
Right.
The whole world can be on the same team real quick if we're fighting another world.
Well, and some people say that's how they're going to fool the world.
Mm-hmm. That is definitely one option.
Yeah, fake alien invasion.
They've got several different options.
Oh, yeah.
They've got several different options. They can just... with the AI, they can actually just show the second coming of Jesus and make people all around the world.
Yeah, they'll believe it.
Believe it. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know the Bible, and
I think you'd believe it.
Me?
Yes.
No, because it would have to be like I saw it.
Maybe your vision was of the fake second coming.
If that's true, then I would be on the opposite team and probably going straight south when I die. Therefore, the Lord is not saving my life for me to be on Satan's team. But I do appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, what if the vision was still from God, but His warning was, you get to see I'm showing you I'm showing you the deception.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
And you're thinking.
Yeah. Again, that's how his mind works, and that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'm not saying
the good thing is he can put his tentacles out on a lot of things, and he's educated enough to where he's smarter than 90% of the people on most subjects. The key is, with all that, is when you're wrong, people tend to remember that.
Well, yeah. They do.
It's not about all the shots you make. It's the one that you miss that people tend to remember.
Interesting.
So I don't think my Lord gave me a vision of the fake.
I'm not hating.
But I do appreciate that.
I'm just, it'd be a possibility. That would, if I had your
possibility.
Well, if I had your experience, I would be thinking, because going into it, I'd be thinking, well, they're going to fake the second coming, and then if I saw that, I'd be like, well, did I see the real coming, or did I see the fake second coming? Because I know it's he's coming. Right. We know that's happening, but did I see the fake one that's going to fool everyone? But I'm just saying that to be going through my head. I'm not trying to renounce or say what you had was of the devil.
No, I was certainly that's not the case. But
no,
there might be people, some out there that believe that.
Well,
there's some people out there that believed I was crazy.
Well, yeah.
Because once I had the vision, I started telling folks, and it sounds, when you start telling people you had a vision from the Lord,
sound pretty crazy.
After you're terminally ill and you think you can cure a lot of diseases, folks in the white coats start getting you prescriptions ready.
Yeah, they do. They do.
But I didn't need their validation.
No.
I've had several encounters with my Lord throughout my life, and it's just unmistakably. It's not like you can confuse it. It's in your core. Mm-hmm. It's definite, and it's amazing. I've never felt anything like it except when that's happening. It's like turning a light switch on.
Right.
When the light comes on automatic, you just know it.
Yeah.
So that's 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
People think I'm sane again now.
Well, hey,
the jury's still out on that rascal too.
Well, we know that.
Yeah, so, but yes, if you can imagine 57 and a half years on this earth, successful in a lot of things, had some failures, but never questioned from an emotional or mental standpoint as far as illness.
Yeah, now all of a sudden people just think you're the craziest person ever walked the planet.
They think, you've got a liver disease that there is a condition that affects the brain.
Yes.
And so that's the very first thing. Every family's got somebody in there that's got a medical professional. She's a nurse, or she's a home health assistant.
Right.
Or, my or my uncle's a doctor.
Uh-huh.
Those type of things. Well, that's the first thing everybody will say. But then when the doctor examines you, he's like, ain't no way. He's got it.
Yeah, he's just...
all you got to do is look at it.
Right.
And see that that's not the case.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
But, look, I get it. If you walk in here and say, Phil, I had a vision from my Lord last night, and let me tell you what it's going to be, then I would be open-minded enough because I've had one.
Right.
But if I hadn't had one, I'd be like, now, Mark, you okay?
Yeah.
You think it's because my life changed drastically.
Right.
Immediately, I thought it was happening as quick as possible.
Sure.
And then I realized that God wasn't going to give me a vision and not enough time to actually go out and help execute the plan.
Right.
So that was of the devil, that fear. But boy, that first 2 weeks, man, I'm going to get water. Let's go. We got to get some water. We got to get some food. We got to get some money.
Yeah,
get some cash.
You were prepping, huh?
I'm prepping, boy.
Oh, that's funny.
And they're like, something wrong. I mean, I don't think he's. But after a couple of weeks, then I had my plan. I had my journey. I knew exactly what I needed to do.
Right.
And I did it. And when I tell people about it, I will be able to document it.
Oh, yeah.
And it will be unbelievable.
Sure.
Because as we go along, you're going to see that what I've done the last 2 years that people don't know about based on this vision is nothing short of miraculous.
Sure.
A terminally ill guy. That wasn't supposed to live 30 days.
That's Phee Smee for you.
Phee Smee went out and did what I have accomplished during that time was nothing less. It's just godly.
Well, yeah.
And I'm thankful for it, and I'm thankful for my health. Let's talk about 54 holes of golf and 5 games of pickleball Sunday.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
And that's at 60.
That's pretty good for being...
And that's supposed to be terminally ill.
It's pretty good for being terminally ill.
And that's with 11 surgeries.
Yeah. Good morning, G.
5 on my knee.
We're glad you're tuning in.
Hello, G. Good to see you this morning, or good to hear from you, G.
Yeah.
I hope you had a good night's rest last night. G, yesterday, said she was going to go to the pool and get some sun, and then she was going to rearrange her bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was pretty cool, because I rearrange my bedroom about once every 12 years.
Sure. Yeah, I don't ever think about it.
No, you wouldn't. You have a tough time getting your shirt out of the dryer, right? I mean, another pressed shirt today. We're talking 4 days in a row, aren't we? Who's pressing those shirts?
My wife just pulls them out of the dryer, man.
I mean, they're just phenomenal.
I mean, like, she doesn't do anything extra than just pull them out of the dryer.
Is that your favorite hat?
No, that's the only hat I've got. I hate this hat. I hate black.
What I would like to do is start a fund for buy Mark a new hat fund.
Like, I actually detest the color and look of this hat. I mean, I like the style.
It almost blends in with your hair, though.
Yeah, no, I don't like what. No, I don't. Black's just not my color. Black's not my color.
That's a faded black.
Well, yeah, because I've worn it for so long. Because it's the only hat. Because I don't like those hats that stand tall up on the front. They don't look good.
I don't like them.
Like I like this style of hat, sure, but I like natural colors like brown or green. You know, those are my colors, like brown or green, maybe a blue, maybe a light red. You know, colors like that. But I mean, I got what I got, man. I did get a good rest. Says G, my room is much nicer. Thank you. Well, G, we're just glad you're tuning in.
Yes,
as always.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you can hear me this morning.
Mark, I wanted to read something to you that I thought you would not believe.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. There are more empty houses in the world than there are homeless people.
I'd believe that.
You would?
Yeah, because I think a lot of those homeless people are homeless. Now, I mean, not to like people would be like, oh, you're speaking so hatefully. My Uncle Tom was homeless and it was because of this very valid reason. Sure, that happens. But a lot of those people are on drugs. They don't want to have a home if it means having to have a job, having to not to be on drugs.
Well, they don't have the money to afford the drugs anymore, but they are homeless because of a reason, and that might be one of them. 40% of those homeless folks are mentally ill.
Well, yeah.
They don't get diet, nutrients.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is if they can't become productive members of society, they can't have the responsibility of having a home.
I agree with that, but the point is there's 15 million homeless in America. Do you think there are 15 million empty houses in America?
Well, I don't know.
And if they are,
sure,
you would agree with it? I thought.
Yeah,
man,
well, yeah, if there are, then yeah.
Okay, because I thought that was a scary fact.
I think whenever they shut down the institutions in, I don't know, whenever, that was the problem.
Yeah. All right, another fact, right?
Sure.
You can't read or tell time in a dream.
I've heard that, but I don't know because I feel like I've read in a dream. Like, read my phone in a dream or something.
Well, can you tell time in a dream? Can you remember any dream that you actually were looking at? Because I remember dreams where I actually seeing clock of faces, but I don't know if I was telling time or just walking by them.
Well, because I wasn't thinking in my dream.
Yeah. What time is it?
Yeah, what time is it? I'm thinking, why am I in the strip mall?
Yeah.
Or, what am I doing in my elementary school hallway? That's my first thought, not, let me see the time.
Another scary thought, a dead body might still move a little even hours after dying. I get that.
Yeah, I believe that.
People with mental problems, including psychopaths, often say their favorite color is blue. Well, your favorite color is green and brown, so you're not having any problems. Me, on the other hand, my favorite color is blue.
Psychopath.
And purple.
I like purple, too. Purple's good.
I'm a purple-blue kind of guy.
I like purple.
But I love green and gold.
Green and gold's good.
You can see by my robe the colors I like.
Yeah, everyone knows your robes.
Thank you. I have several, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Several?
3 right now.
Yeah, I would say several or a pair.
3.
Yeah, you'd have 3. Yeah,
3. But I need one a day.
Yeah, you need a green and gold one. You need a green and gold.
Only 2 days in your life aren't 24 hours long. Can you tell me the 2 days, Mark? There's only 2 days in the life of Manly Mark that are not 24 hours long. What are the days?
I don't know.
Number 1,
to yell.
The day you were born.
And the day you die. Well, because that was so obvious. I was going to say that. The day you're born and the day you die.
Why didn't you say it?
Because it seems so obvious.
But thank you for playing.
Seems so obvious.
You missed it. On average, we unknowingly pass 14 murders in our lifetime. Just walking down the street. I just don't think in Arkansas you're going to pass by 14 murders. But now in New York City, I can see where you walk and there's, a million people.
Well, sure. I don't know.
There might be 14 out there.
Well, yeah.
But I do think that's kind of scary. Here you go, Mark. This is a Phee Smee trait. Your brain can make up fake memories that feel totally real.
Yeah, I believe that.
See?
Yeah.
I totally agree too. If you enjoy learning, then you're smarter.
Okay, I enjoy it, yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I think a lot of people are just naturally smart. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to Phee Smee Show today with Manly Mark. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tune in tonight as Phee Smee will go live at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
9 p.m.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Check us out at the Phee Smee Network on all the platforms. Look at His Kingdom is Coming, Terminally Ill, Coaching Theology, and the Phee Smee Show with Manly Mark. He's killing flies over here, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm telling you to back away from the mic because that's when No, I'm telling you to back up because that's when you start to cut out.
Sorry.
Well, I just didn't want you to ruin your...
Remember, if I have to sit here an hour
I didn't want you
without moving, it's very difficult for me.
I understand, but I'm trying to keep you from...
My butt hurts. Even when I go to a basketball game and sit on the bleachers.
I understand.
After 45 minutes, I'm doing this.
Oh, that's fine. I just...
Hey, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you. And soon we're going to get the Man in the Mirror up and night. So thank you guys and God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.